Yo, these college students actually live in an echo chamber. They just copy and paste and regurgitate all the talking points that they see on CNN, MSNBC, or from all the things that their professors say. They can't even articulate why they believe the way they believe. They just keep spouting the nonsense that they were told is truth, but not really why it's true. And we're gonna see here firsthand in this Charlie Kirk interview on a college campus with Vivek Ramaswamy, where he just completely dismantles this man's view on abortion, and this guy was left speechless. He didn't even know what to say. But before we get into that, make sure that you subscribe to Resist the Mainstream to ensure to YouTube that you're enjoying our videos, so they will continually show up in your feed, and then they'll push it out to more people as well. I'm Titus. Let's get into this video.
I'd like to challenge you mainly on like a moral landscape versus like a political landscape, because I've not done my homework in the political realm. So I'd like to challenge you on like your views on abortion and homosexuality. Specifically Charlie, because I've consumed some way more of Charlie's clips. I watched a clip of you. I'd like to just confirm your viewpoint real quick.
I answer this at every tour stop. Yes, I do not believe in personally my family would not allow an abortion under any case unless the life of the mother. That's correct.
Okay, so unless the life of the mother?
Unless the life of the mother, of which it would actually not be considered an abortion. It's a medical procedure called a septigectomy, but yes, abortion is the intentional taking of a fetus or a human life. Our family would never do that personally, correct.
Okay. And you were brought up a scenario where a young girl, 10, 15-year-old girl was raped, and you were asked, should she give an abortion, or is it more moral to not give or give this abortion? And you said the baby will be aborted, and I
said the baby will be delivered in the video.
The baby will be delivered. My bad. And I think that's quite harsh to expect someone of this age and this
got it. So
life experience
I have a question.
To have to do this.
Someone in this audience was conceived in rape. Can you tell me who?
No.
There we go. That's the thing. They really have been desensitized these people to the concept of human life and the value of human life solely based off the difference of them being inside of a woman's belly and outside. Not realizing that we were all in that place at one time, and how insane it would be to think that you would not be here because someone decided that your life didn't mean anything because of the maturation process, the place that you were in your human development and your age. It's absolutely insane, the justification people make, because it's like out of sight, out of mind.
I have two ultrasounds. One baby's conceived in rape, one baby was conceived by a loving family. Which one is which?
You cannot tell.
Yeah, so that therefore universal human equality spans to all people regardless of the method of your conception, correct?
Sure.
So that is my position.
That is not exactly what I'm trying to tackle here. I'm trying to tackle, I want you to look more at the person having to give life to this baby and push it out of their body and go through a pregnancy and...
They always want to focus on that. So, and this is literally where we draw the line on each side. Like the liberals or the super woke people are like, oh, well, the woman that endured rape, the woman that was sexually assaulted and forced upon herself this pregnancy should not have to endure such relive this traumatic experience by having to give birth to this human. And it's like, guys, that's evil. That's wrong. It is terrible, abhorrent, vile, just straight the worst thing that could possibly ever happen to an individual. We are in agreement on that. We don't in turn terminate the child because of the sins of the father. Like, we don't sit there and say, oh, well, two wrongs make a right. Like, no, it's wrong. It's murder. like there's no other way to put it. Like, you're still killing someone. You're terminating a life because of a wrong done to you. What you're doing is actually worse than what was done to you. Because guess who still gets to live on? You still get to live your life. You get to go through therapy. You get to heal all the brokenness from the experience that you had. And if you terminate them, you're going to have to deal with that trauma as well. But if you let the child live because they have a right to live, they have a right to life, that could help in your healing process. Or you can give it away if it's too much for you. But termination, murder is never the answer. It's not the solution. And when people trying to spin the narrative that, oh, well, because they went through this terrible experience, they should be awarded the opportunity to murder their child, it makes no sense. And it's universally wrong, as he stated here perfectly, using the example of there's someone who is conceived from rape here. They're here on this campus at this gathering. Which one is it? you wouldn't know, because life is valuable, life matters, regardless of the circumstances and how it was brought forth.
Let's ask another moral question then. Is it ever okay to do something evil after an evil act?
I want you to focus on my question real quick.
No,
first.
I've answered it. I've already.
No, you have not answered it.
Well, I said the baby will be delivered. Because, for example, murdering a baby is not the right thing after an evil. That's the moral position I have.
Sure, in a general statement, that is, I would agree. As a general statement, yes.
But no, so for example, under abortion, do you carve out a new morality? Is there like a different kind of morality that we apply only to abortion?
Well, it really is a case-by-case thing for me.
Really? So that's case by case? I mean, where in life do we do case by case? Don't we have universal human morality, such as you shall not murder, people deserve human rights?
I mean, sure, but the...
Why should abortion be any different?
Because this, I believe the fetus or embryo or however you want to call it or whatever stage it's in, I believe it should not have the exact same rights as me or you.
Got it. So what species is it?
It is a human.
So then if it's a human species, doesn't it then get human rights?
Not necessarily.
Why?
Because there's a...
At what point does it get human rights?
I believe it gets human rights upon birth, and I think...
Wow, upon birth? So even when it's 35 weeks, has a heartbeat, its own DNA, brain waves, can feel pain, touch, it can hear you, that baby doesn't get human rights?
Well,
This guy doesn't know what he's talking about. This is why Charlie Kirk himself says college is a scam. This right here, these people don't even know why they believe what they believe, he's fighting tooth and nail, like literally dismissing valid positions, valid points that contradict and vilify him as an individual who is justifying murder of a child in the womb. And he's still fighting it because he's been told that is the moral position, when in reality it's the evil one. It's the one that's actually bringing harm to life. It's the one that's actually cruel. A cruel and unusual punishment, which is pretty normalized now, to something as evil as... He's just fighting. He keeps fighting it. Well, that would be considered wrong. I think, yeah, it's wrong. Everything he's saying is right. Listen to him. He's telling you the truth. Charlie is telling you the truth. But you've been so brainwashed to believe that you have the moral position, and that the people that are empathizing with the people that were raped, which you should be sympathetic and empathetic towards people that experience stuff like that. But you should not, in turn, push them to do a more cruel act than what was done to them. And he's like, he doesn't even know how to process this right now. It's insane.
Of course it deserves most rights, but when you are...
Like which ones? Most rights?
Yeah. So if you were to, like for me, if my daughter, was raped, I would 100% expect an option to not have this baby be born.
No, that's fine. We just disagree. You would be okay with murdering a baby. I would not.
Why I think murder is a bit of a harsh...
So let me ask, you said you're case by case.
They don't like to acknowledge reality. So you think because your daughter was done wrong that she has every right to do a wrong. Well, I wouldn't say murder. I don't like that word. That makes me feel like I'm a bad person. Yeah, because you are if you think it's okay. If you think that's okay. You use the emotional argument of they were raped while ignoring the fact, emotional and real argument or real reality, that you're killing someone. You're taking a life. And then they don't like to hear that. Oh, whoa. Like, why? I'm not killing a baby. Oh, you guys always talk about killing a baby. We're not killing a baby. We're protecting the mother. The woman has the right to her body. You are killing a baby. I don't know how we've convinced the masses that abortion is like justifiable in any way, shape, or form, but somehow it's happened. And when their logic is picked apart and brought real evidence or real life examples, or just they come to the realization that, oh wait, that is still a human life, they don't even know how to like respond to that, because they're like, oh, wait, the woman, if I had a daughter, malfunctioning with all the talking points that are not valid.
Okay, so let me give you a case to react to. Pregnant woman walking down the street. She's assaulted. The unborn child dies as a consequence. Should that criminal be held liable for that death or not?
Yes.
Okay, so therefore we agree that that was actually a moral wrong and a crime that was committed, which means we have common ground, right?
Yes.
And by the way, you're not alone in that. Nearly every pro-choice person I've met in this country says the same thing, that if the woman is assaulted, she's pregnant, the unborn child dies as a consequence. In that context, I haven't met a single person who says we don't treat that as actually a death, that criminal is responsible for. So that says we actually all share that same instinct in common.
Yes.
Let me just shift. As we're on a diverse campus, as Charlie mentioned. We're here in the city of Atlanta. Let me just talk about Planned Parenthood for a second, because there's an agenda here. It's not about these one-off, fringe, theoretical cases. Planned Parenthood was built on a racist agenda to...
That is very true. Before we even get into that, did you hear what he just stated about how if a woman was pregnant and she was murdered or she was killed, they would call that a double homicide. They would say that you took the life of the child, and this man is acknowledging that he believes that is also the case and that most people would agree with that sentiment. How then, if it's just, there's one difference, the difference being that the mother doesn't want the child that she's carrying, it is then now justified? So if someone else kills the mother and the child, it's a double homicide, that you killed a baby, you're going to jail for 2 murders. But if the mother wants to kill the baby, that's fine. Not a homicide. You didn't murder anyone. Totally your choice, your body, your choice. Like, that doesn't make any sense. It does not make sense. The only difference is the desire to have the child or to not have the child. It does not make, it's like mind-boggling, these people.
To actually stop the birth of one race of people, that is the black race of people. And I know this may be controversial to say, but when you look at the number of deaths in this country, lynching...
Did he just sniff his armpit, or am I tripping?
Ain't got nothing, actually, on the abortions that have occurred in this country targeted against one racial community. And so when I hear Kamala Harris walking around talking about reproductive rights, I can't stand it anymore, because they're effectively have an agenda preventing the reproduction of one class of Americans. And I think especially sitting where we are today, we got to recognize that racist agenda for what it is too. So thank you, man. I appreciate the question.
I like to just push back a little bit, stay out of, the political realm, who said what. And
last word, and then we got to give other people a turn, all right?
All right, so where, besides the cultural landscape of my generation, personally I think my generation has started to abuse the abortion, the option of abortion, and that has led to our society, our
we
culture.
agree.
It started with Margaret Sanger, who was a racist, who was a co-founder of Planned Parenthood, whose effective objective was eugenics in the United States to stop black people and other categories of people from reproducing. That's the legacy before. It's the effect it's had, and it deserves to be called out. Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
All right.
Thank you. People. Thank you.
It's crazy to me that you can sit there and acknowledge that you think abortion has been abused. What do you mean? What do you mean? If you think abortion has been abused, if it's not terminating the life of a child, if you're not killing a baby, if that's not what it is, then I'm confused with how it can be abused, because it's not a life. It's just a woman who doesn't want to have a child and she's terminating the pregnancy. It's not like, it's very mind-boggling how they justify the act of child annihilation in the womb and then say that it can be abused at the same time. But it's also, but I thought it wasn't murder. It's like the selectiveness in like their thought processes. I don't even know, it's like so warped, convoluted. It's just shocking that people believe this way, and they don't believe this way. They're literally just, like I said, regurgitating talking points that they heard from their professor or from the news outlets, because 90% of them are liberal and left-leaning and spouting ridiculousness and making it about women's rights, making it about like taking things away from a woman, the patriarchy, this and that. It's like, no, we just want to protect children. We want to protect life. Doesn't matter whose life it is, they have the right to live it. So if you enjoyed this video, make sure that you comment your thoughts below. I really want to know what you guys' thoughts are on this. Vivek and Charlie did a really good job of dismantling this guy's ridiculousness. I don't even think he knew what he was saying. But yeah, I mean, props to him for being cordial and civil. That's always good to see. And make sure to subscribe, sharing, engaging, commenting, and all that good stuff. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.